What up, and what up? Salute to my brothers.
Absolutely.
Gutter,
what up?
Tag,
what up?
My brother Tag.
What we doing,
Make
OG
sure you
Wisdom?
check out the OG Wisdom podcast. You know what I mean? You're in it live and raw from a Val Lagoon. Good show, my niggas. I love y'all.
Most of our leaders come out of organizations. You have to be a part of an organization to be an effective leader. But how do we determine if you're an effective leader if you don't organize the people? You can't just grab the mic or your phone, get on YouTube and say, yo, I'm a good leader because I think I'm a good leader. You have to have a track record of organizing people, setting goals and agendas and getting them done.
Yeah. Politicians I don't really like. Activism is different because, you know, you got a goal. It has nothing to do with politics. When you are activist, you know, it's for your people.
Make sure y'all get ready to tune in to my brother, my big brother, C Gutter and Tad, new podcast, OG Wisdom. Better tune in to that. A lot of jewels, a lot of knowledge, a lot of lifestyle, a lot of street talk, a lot of hood tales, real stories. Check it out. OG Wisdom, Tad, C Gutter.
Peace, family, peace. Welcome back to another episode of the OG Wisdom Podcast with me, your brother Tad, and our brother C Gutter. Today, I'm excited. I'm stoked. Got one of the big homies, big bros of the conscious community, of the conscious movement, of the activist community, none other than our brother Black Dot. For those who may not know who Black Dot is, he's known across the underground circuit as Black Dot, a lecturer, an MC, and an author. He was a street columnist for Four Corners. On the low, he was influential in hip-hop itself. A hype man for some of the biggest rappers, one of the biggest rappers in New York at one point. His commentary wasn't just lyrical. It ran deep into metaphysical and cultural analysis. He published several books. One is Hip Hop Decoded, a cult classic dive into the spiritual and mystical roots of hip-hop, mapping graffitis, DJs, MCs, and B-boys to ancient elements and sacred archetypes. Grandmaster Caz even penned the forward to this book. And then he got Urban Culture Decoded, a follow-up expanding on urban traditions, aesthetics, and cultural resistance through a spiritual lens. And that forward was written by none other than our brother, me and Gutter's brother, and Black Dot's brother A.A. Rashid. In the hood, he's just affectionately known as Ahmed. And now his latest installment, which we're going to dive deep into, is his book, The Hero's Journey. Gotta laugh to keep from crying. He didn't start living till he thought he was dying. He's weaving storytelling with resilience, humor, and purpose. And he's been featured on so many shows just lighting it up. There's so many accolades. He got a dope podcast with his son Malcolm called Urban X. Many of y'all may be familiar with that. And he's unlectured from the Bronx to Berlin, damn near. He's been around the world just giving up this knowledge and information. You know what I'm saying? Gutter, you ready to come in, bro? Yeah, and Dot, when you ready, just give me the thumbs up. I just had to read the quick bio. Brother Gutter, you familiar with Black Dot's teachings? Because like I said, he's on the underground. You know,
I haven't tapped in. You know, I was you away for a while.
Yeah.
Certain shit you don't get at all.
Right.
Like if you really underground, if you in prison, it's gonna be hard unless somebody tapped you in, like somebody give you, somebody passes it on.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, man, this brother's deep. Gutter, you gonna enjoy today's show because this brother goes in, he dives deep into it. He has a story like you and I, you know what I'm saying? People see the finished product, but in his last book, they don't know what it took for him to get to where he is. And I'm just thankful that I can call him my brother and all the dopeness that he's done in and out of hip hop. So with no further ado, I want to bring to the stage our brother, Black Dot.
Family, peace.
Peace.
To the legend, of course, Tad, you already know what it is, man. I thank you for the intro. and the opportunity to build with, some air lights on,
No
what's
doubt.
going on out here.
No doubt. So people normally know you for exposing hip hop culture, decoding urban culture. You took a deep dive in both of those books and exposed a lot of the occult. I don't want to say mysticism, because sometimes people get spooky on words.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
expose a lot of the inner workings of what goes on in hip hop as well as the mindset of urban culture. But now in this book, you exposed yourself. You exposed your soul, your life. It was a brutally honest look. You open the book with just being a 5-year old, watching your mother deal with a challenge. Talk to the people about that.
Yeah, well, all three books that I wrote, God, were actually connected. So my first love was hip hop. You grew up in the hood, you know what I'm saying? And it was the one thing that really bonded all of us. You know what I'm saying? It was the one time, you could change your name to something like Super LB or whatever, to give you an altered ego, right? Because we were all dealing with the struggle. And that became where our first really attempt to use magic in our imagination, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I was, Super KD, you know what I'm saying, the intelligent MC and, all of this stuff. But it gave us an opportunity to bond over a music that was rebel music in the beginning, and from our parents. I keep telling people, my mom was like, hold up, wait a minute. Why are you touching the record? Why do you need two copies of the goddamn record? And why are y'all yelling over the record? Right? But in hip hop, through all my lessons, becoming a 5%er, all of that kind of stuff, I began to notice some patterns that were taking place in hip hop that I said, this is deeper than just beats and rhymes. And so Hip Hop Decoded was my first attempt to put out a book that dealt with metaphysics, astrology, occult science, all the things, because we are spiritual people having that human experience. Urban Culture Decoded was the environment that birthed hip hop, the liquor store, the church, the barbershop. Why is the barbershop so important, God? Because a lot of us didn't have fathers in our lives. And the barbershop was the only thing in our community that usually was black owned, you know what I mean? And that the eldership was in there. Everything was in the barbershop, the news, religion, all of that. If you wanted to buy something. And so the barbershop, the liquor store, and the church. Those are three I put together because on Friday, you went and got cleaned up after work. You know what I mean? Saturday, you went to the liquor store because we're gonna toss it up. And Sunday, if you was into the religion, you tried to redeem yourself. And so
Right.
all of these things became a part of our culture. And what I noticed, the culture became sort of like a maze. You know what I'm saying? And you chasing this cheese, and you can never get out of that maze unless you get a greater understanding of what's going on. And some of us it took us years, but then we figured out, oh, okay, y'all got us chasing an illusion of things, but the liquor store, the church, the crack dealer, all of this stuff is being funded by the same people. And so, I wrote those two books to kind of lay the foundation, and then the understanding was my personal journey through it all. And so this is my life decoded. I went from hip hop decoded, urban culture decoded, basically to my life decoded, and telling my story. I had to be brutally honest about what I went through with, watching a brilliant woman, fall to substance abuse, me going to school, not having a lot, moving around, the neglect of other kids, the whole story and the redemption, coming into knowledge of self and understanding that as long as I'm breathing, God, I got a shot at this. And so that's when this thing began to turn. I began to, get some lessons and live out those lessons and build a beautiful legacy with family, and the whole 9 yards. So that's what this was really all about.
I love that you use that word legacy because here on OG Wisdom, that's what we're about. We just two brothers from the hood, just like yourself. we got wrong information, but we also got right information. But we decided to move on right information and realizing if you can make it out the hood, how fortunate you truly are. So we about growing, developing our mind, and also legacy, because we both are fathers who care very much for our children and our children's children.
More, I think if you make it out the hood mentality.
Yes, that's where it started.
Like, it's not necessarily leaving for the hood. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Because honestly, anywhere we go where we're gonna be around us, it's gonna be the hood.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be rare. It's gonna be rare that we go somewhere where it's all of us. You know what I'm saying? It's people that look like us, and everybody is well off.
Right.
Right.
It's a rare case. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's more so. It's like I said, like me and you we just discussed my little actions recently, and the ancestors sat my ass down. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. The ancestors sat my ass right the fuck down. Like now look at your life.
Mhm.
Pretty much. And
Yeah.
what you was doing, and like nigga figure
That
it
led
out.
you to get sitting down.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and just in a base way for the common person to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know,
And that's
on a
what I think.
spiritual level, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
On a spiritual level, is different. You know what I'm saying? But me conveying just to the audience and to the public, just like this is like just somebody just saying karma.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? But just my view as the ancestors, like my karma worldview is different from most people's. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's something Doc was talking about in the book.
I'm gonna always go back to the ancestors, you know what I'm saying, first, because they are intermediaries.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the, you know what I'm saying, to the greater. So, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna come from them, because the greater got better things to think about than just me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's why I think honestly, I think if we get, no matter what religious structure you under, if you keep it like that, you know what I'm saying, where we always like, all right, we know there's a higher, you know what I'm saying, but we are part of that. So that means whoever that passed before us, that's part of us, is the ones that's guiding us through life. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So if we stick to that, which is our traditional culture, no matter where you go in Africa, it's like that. You know what I mean? And even the indigenous black people that was here, even though they came from Africa, you know what I'm saying, preach the
Those are
same.
universal principles you're speaking
Yeah,
of.
universal
No matter where
principle.
you go,
Exactly.
those universal principles, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but the universal principles stand intact. And that's what gives us the commonality. No matter where we go, we there. You know what I mean? And we can adjust and adapt. You know what I mean?
Because we're gonna sit nowhere and get our head now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, I see you, bro.
I see
you.
Like, we might not even speak the same language, but if we somewhere else, you know what I'm saying, we gonna get that. It's
that's
gonna
that
be
universal understanding. Exactly.
Yeah. Without one word.
Right?
That's it. All right. And you know, it's funny, it's dope you said that, because that's a segue, because reading Dot's book, knowing Dot for at least 10 years now, I've been fortunate enough to know our brother Black Dot. And it's so much that I didn't know, because his story in his book is so personal. It's called, hold on, let's see if we can get that in here. But look it up. I gotta laugh. There you go.
gotta laugh to keep from crying.
That's right. Didn't start living till I thought I was dying. It's
That's
so
it.
raw.
That was one of my favorite lines when I was up north.
My mother used to say it all the time, God, and so it stuck with me. You know?
Yeah.
Like, cause I think I heard it from somebody else. You know, that's not no original thought. You know what I'm saying? But I heard it from somebody, but that shit stuck with me, and that was like, because the nigga, think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes
you have to.
you want to crack jokes and all that shit, because that, like I said, if anybody knows
Master
me,
pain.
I do that all day.
Mask the pain.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We mask
If
that
anybody
pain.
know, if anybody know me, I crack jokes all day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So just
even some of our greatest comedians, from Richard Pryor on down, Robin Harris, you know, they all deep down
with pain.
were funny, but when you peel back the cover, they were dealing with trauma of their own. And we've been built in that's our installation.
The reality of our struggle is humorous. Is like, because the way they put it is we can see it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's automatically funny. It's not. It's sad to say. It's like, it's not really funny, but it's funny.
Gotta laugh to keep from crying.
You gotta laugh
because
like,
you can't make this shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't make this shit up. You know, and Dot, in your book, you talk about family, you talk about legacy, you talk about community, you talk about your awareness. I love the part where you talk about fatherhood. How important was fatherhood in your development? I mean, I know because I read the book, and the book will only give me the surface, because you really took a deep dive even into the transition of your queen. But talk about fatherhood shaping you and what that was like.
Growing up in the hood, a lot of us, we didn't have a direct father. Yeah, like I knew my dad, but he wasn't in my life every single day. You know, because it's a lot to learn about loving a woman. It's a lot to learn about navigating the streets and all of that. But I always stayed on like a baseball team or something and had father figures around. But I really wanted to break the cycle in one generation. So I said, if I ever have children, the one thing I'm going to do, I won't be perfect. I'll be present. And so by being present, I'm going to be here through all of it. Thick, thin, this, that, ups and downs, because we really can break cycles with one generation, you know, and see, sometimes if you had your dad and, you know, he did the best he could, because my mother and dad got together when they was 15. They had me at 16. Now, in retrospect, what 16-year-old thing was barely getting some ass? You know what I mean? Understood what it was about to lead other men and things of that nature. And so some of our parents deserve grace when we get wise enough to let that shit go about victimhood. He wasn't there for this and that. Think about how old your father was. Think about the circumstances that brought you into existence here and how you would have navigated that. So when it came time for me to be a dad, I met a beautiful young lady who had a son. He was only 9 months old. You know what I mean? And so entering into that, I come to realize that I wasn't there to guide him. He was there to guide me, because I noticed by the time he was 2 years old, he started watching everything I was doing. He started mimicking me naturally. And I was coming from the streets, you know what I'm saying? Selling weed, smoking weed, coke, mescaline, PCP, dust, you name it. I did it all. Growing up in the hood, I was a gang member, Zulu Nation, all of that old kind of stuff. But this young little being humbled me, you know what I mean? And made me go, whoa, now somebody else is looking at me. And so for the first 7 years, I raised him and learned everything, how to change Pampers, how to go to PTA meetings. Here it is, I'm from the streets, and now I'm in PTA meetings, listening to teachers and all of that, to the point where he was teaching me all about fatherhood. See, you know, kids can teach you. You can't teach them how to be kids. They already know how to do that. And they're just exploring life as it is. By the time me and the queen had our own son, I was a little bit more equipped, a little bit more prepared. But what that experience added for me, I was in the operating room, or the delivery room, should I say, and had an opportunity to witness birth itself. That's a very humbling experience, fellas. If you've never seen it, it's humbling, it's spiritual, it's all of that. And so fatherhood became a principle in which I wanted to be better, but be present. And I tell young dads, you don't have to get it all right in the beginning because you're learning yourself, but be present. Be there for them more than just dropping some money off when you and the queen didn't work out. That's cool too, but being present made all the difference for me. And that began to build legacy in the sense, because we always think legacy is about money. No, it's not. It's really about what we can pass down, those moments we share, the traditions that we can build upon. So it became my number one principle to not be a perfect dad, but to be a present dad. And till this day, my youngest is 23 now. As a matter of fact, she's graduated. She already graduated from college. Now she's graduating from a certificate program. My two oldest sons graduated from college. So to know where I'm coming from and see what I did, I think it's important. So young dads, you don't have to get it perfect. You got to be present.
Black, I'm glad you brought that up. So in this climate right now, we know there's the manosphere, the red pill sphere, for lack of a better word. And they always encourage brothers, don't deal with a woman who got children. If you do, you're a simp and all of that. I want you to speak to that. Okay, you say something, Gunner?
Yeah, that's the weirdo sphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm cut from a different cloth. And so because I'm older, my mother, the first thing she told me when I told her I met this young lady, I'm really feeling her, but she has a son. She said, well, you know, they come as a package. You know what I mean? They come as a unit. And the only way I can truly express love for her is vicariously through her child as well. Now, this generation, like you said, it's a bunch of weirdos when nobody wants to commit to anything, and you become a prisoner of other people's perception of you. In my generation, if a dude said you took care of a kid wasn't yours, we looked up to that. We was like, oh, I see where you going with that, God. And you know what I'm saying? He wasn't a seed I planted, but he was a seed that I watered and built. But everything we in bizarro world, everything is reversed now. No one takes no commitment.
My pops adopted my oldest sister.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He married my mom and adopted my oldest. My oldest sister is not my pop's daughter. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Not his biological daughter.
Yeah. It's not his. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not his seed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He married my mom's. You know what I'm saying? Had 3 more kids with her. You know what I'm saying? Adopted my sister.
Yeah.
So like that's what I was saying. Like that's weirdo shit. It's like because if you love somebody and you want to commit to them, because look what you might be missing.
Yes.
Because had he'd have been thinking about that, then he'd have been missing out on three other children
of his own and the love that your mother gave him.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Now, son, my pops was obsessed with my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we separated and all that, but once he found out she was sick, that nigga was from Germantown to New Brooklyn, damn near every day, my nigga.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right.
So like,
and that's important. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
His sister will never forget it. She'll never forget it because he was there to fill that void and give her what she needed. And I was one of them to the point where when my oldest son did find out, because he didn't know for years, I was one of the ones that helped him find his dad. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so secure in the job I had done, God. You know what I mean? And when he looked that man in the face, he said, I'm glad to meet you. He said, but I had a dad in my life, so I'm not bitter. I just wanted to lay eyes on you and build a relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you find out you adopted or something and be like, damn, the one I was getting my ass whipped, the one I was getting treated bad, there was none of that. I treated him from the beginning the way he was supposed to be treated and was confident enough to go meet that man. You know what I mean? And the dude was shocked. He was like, I appreciate it because he had just came home. You know, he was a hustler. You know what I'm saying? And he had just came home and he appreciated because the first thing he did was probably think, okay, I got to deal with this shit. Young nigga coming at me, and it was the polar opposite. And so it's the greatest joy, one of the greatest joys, because the exchange of fatherhood and sonhood, and him teaching me how to be a dad, and me teaching him as he got older. This is what it's about. And to this day, man, we like this. He'll be 40 next year, and to go to show you how earlier in the trenches I was with this. And so I salute those who are serious about that work. But this generation, they just, they surface gazes. They look on the outside.
They getting this false. Well, I'm telling you where it comes from. They getting this Western European concept of manhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what that is.
Right, because where we from, our culture dictates that the men take care of children.
Yeah.
Whether they're yours or not. Nieces, nephews, neighbors.
Bro,
right.
Where you think you get the phrase, mama's baby, mother's papa's
maybe.
That's
mama's baby's papa's maybe.
Regardless, you taking you know what I'm saying? Regardless to what?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless to what, when you have a family, you take care of your family. And one has nothing to do with the other.
Yep.
Right.
That's a fact.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Because you got to understand, in most of our cultures, 90% of our cultures is matrilineal. You know what I'm saying? So the uncle is the one that provides for the young men.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
or
showing
grandpa
that the father doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Not that the father doesn't, but the uncle, that's his job.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
and even after we broke up, Lord, which was eons ago, nothing changed. You know what I mean? Exactly. I could have been, well, I'm out. Well, no. The breakup had nothing to do with the relationship that I built. You know what I mean? And so that's what it was. And so, and I'm not sure if social media and all of this illusionary things we see going on has anything to do with it, because
it has a big part. In my opinion, it has a big part.
Because what it comes from a place of, number one, like I said, it's the Western European concept of manhood. Mm-hmm. Number one, and then it's the people that's presenting it. Dudes got Rollies, they driving Ferraris, this, that, and the third. They live in the, you know what I'm saying? So these are the dudes that's telling dudes that don't get, that have not 1% of what this dude has material. So they living vicariously through him mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of that in our community. We get a lot of that.
Yeah. But dudes do that. That's the same thing. That's the same thing like with these so-called conscious influencers on the internet. You know what I'm saying? They do the same thing. Same thing with certain rappers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same thing.
They know how to play the game. So
and look, that is one of the founders of the modern day conscious community. But before Sarnetta, before this whole internet thing, Dot was definitely one of the founders.
What I'm saying. I was hearing that name, but I'm in jail. You know what I'm saying? Dudes is like on the internet. Younger cats that was conscious came in. They know about the internet, nigga. I wasn't even around for MySpace.
I know that.
I was in prison for MySpace.
Yeah, Gutter took it back.
So,
it's taking it back.
You understand what I'm saying? So the shit what I came home to and what I'm seeing is like really buffoonery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you don't have no answers to nothing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all niggas got is debates about what black people started where.
Yeah, and it's useless. My whole thing now is I need a return on my investment. So when I get online, if you're talking some bullshit that doesn't do me nothing, I don't even respond. You know what I mean? So I need to know if this conversation we're having, is there going to be a return on my investment? Because my time and energy is all I have now. And so I don't want to waste it chasing this or talking about shit that don't matter no more. How are we going to prepare something for these babies And how are we going to move forward? That's all I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about who started what, who became this, because there's nothing, there's no return on it. And when you get to my age, when you're young, you got energy to burn. I don't have energy to burn.
Yeah, exactly. I don't got time or energy.
Right. I don't
have the time or the energy for bullshit.
I don't have the time or the energy.
So, John, let me ask you, dealing with the conscious community, because it did have value at one point.
Yes.
From you and the homies, brother A. Rashid, brother Chris, the Pillars, brother Shabazz. When y'all started this, pre-internet, I mean, this is before we had all these platforms. You've seen this growth and you've seen this demise. You've hosted and you've lectured with some of the best. What was the difference from when you started, reached this pinnacle, and when did you recognize this downfall?
That's a great question. Remember, even before us, there was Sister Bert, Brother Big Man, Clemson Brown, and I showed up in 95, 96 to be exact. And when I entered into those spaces, the first thing I noticed, there was no young people there. So there was a bunch of elders sitting around about shit that they're not going to be able to activate. It takes young people to activate, right? And so I was sitting there going, all right, this information is phenomenal, but it needs to have some young people here, right? And so from that, I started doing these little music mixes. I took the Clue and Ron G. Monica, and I put the conscious music over the instrumentals and to try to create a buzz. Long story short, Brother Chris, took a liking to Phil Valentine's teachings, and he knew Blue Pill, and Blue Pill connected with me because I was writing for Four Corners newspaper, and we sort of had a renaissance, a reemergence, and it was young people. You know what I mean? Because I was on my hip hop swag. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had the throwbacks on, and so now we have more young people that showed up who can actually move on the information. We had Ahmed, who was still, down at the moment, but he was smuggling out his teachings, and we was building platforms off that. And so when he came home, he had a platform to step right into. And before the internet and all of that, remember, we only had these intimate settings, so we knew everybody. It was 200 people, 150 people there, but we knew everybody. We was able to monitor this, that, keep things in control. After the lectures, we would build, and then and the elders always had one statement: don't follow us nowhere. Don't follow me.
Right.
I'm not here to be a leader. My personal life could be raggedy. I'm here to present these lessons. The problem with consciousness or the conscious community is people were coming out of organized religion and treating this like organized religion. And so the more people showed up, the more the hierarchy kicked in. I'm smarter than you. I studied this. Niggas is banging shorties out, and it became a mess. The conscious community was only supposed to be sort of like a way station for you to shake off religion and all of that, get your mind right, and then you got to go out and teach these babies. So that was always my mindset from the beginning. You know what I mean? I'm going to come through. I needed it. Shake this nonsense off. Now I had hip hop, which was my first love. Now I can fuse it with metaphysics. I can fuse it with astrology and numerology. And so that's what I did. And that's what gave birth to Hip Hop Decoded, the first book of its kind to really address. And then I had tons of people say, thank you. That's the way I was feeling. I just didn't know how to articulate it. You know what I mean? And so once this thing became about the internet and how many CDs I could sell, it started going downhill from there. And then once we started the debates and all of that old kind of stuff, and in a real, just a general debate, the winner is not Tad or C. Gutter. The winner is supposed to be the audience who got both perspectives of great information, no showboating, I respect my opponent, this and that. And we all supposed to walk away like, yo, See, Gunna dropped the bomb there. Yeah, but Tad had this. And then we're supposed, but it became in this corner, see from the
Then,
streets of Brooklyn.
niggas
And
start getting disrespectful and
corner
everything.
is Tad, who don't give a shit about C. Gunna. And then you start saying shit about C. Gunna's moms, and shit just got out of control. I had no parts of any of that. That's when I stepped to the side and said, okay, y'all can have all of that. And so, and then these YouTube scholars came about, and they didn't have to study under no teachers, no masters, no enlighteners. You know what I mean? They just studied all of C. Gunna's work and then came out as G Gunna. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The new and improved and hit my Cash App, and it went through a cycle of craziness. Through all of that, just to give grace, those who understood weathered the storm. You know what I mean? There was plenty of people who showed up, came, left, went to prison, this, that, all that. But the essence of it to me has always been, this is just a place to get some alternative thinking into your first eye. That's it. Whoever's bring it, but don't bring it with your ego and all of that other stuff. Bring the information, and then your job is done. Find your lane, you know what I'm saying, that you want to cover. And once it became about the debates and the YouTube scholars and all of that, that's when I think, but that was the sign of the times. I just can't blame the conscious community.
This what I learned as well is the internet like is grounds for like it's like a breeding ground for like negative energy. Like people that just want to get on and troll. You understand what I'm saying? So
Anonymously.
you have exactly. And or and gangsters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you would get smacked in your face.
Yeah.
If you that lie.
Yeah.
Right.
So and what it is the problem is I don't understand. That's why I question people's intelligence.
Right.
Because if you were intelligent enough, you would have emotional intelligence as well and know that's exactly what they doing. Like shit like that, I'm gonna laugh or get wrecked on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, I crack jokes all day. So if I see a wild comment, I'm either gonna ignore it or the response is gonna be wrecked. It's never gonna be because I know you're behind you just like me right now. I'm on a fucking laptop. So like what can I do to you?
Yeah.
Right.
What can you do to me? You know what I'm saying?
To add to that,
unless you talking something where you're disputing something like a
Right,
line
some facts.
thinking,
Yeah.
Right.
And you disputing that and you coming at, but something wild, I'm gonna either ignore it or shoot a joke.
But here's the thing.
all day.
Agents used to have to come to the lectures in person and take notes and report back to their superior.
You don't have
the
to no
internet
more.
gave them an opportunity to be anonymous behind a computer, log on, create a name like Hotep Supergalactic, and be in the mix and remain unknown. And it created more confusion. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, you had to show and prove God. You had to show and prove God. You know what I mean? If we're in the cipher building and you goofing, you're gonna get your teeth knocked out. Or if you poking your chest out like you about that, then you better be about that.
Yeah,
you don't have to do that.
Somebody's gonna want that fade.
Somebody gonna want the fade. But now with the internet and all of this, it's dudes on here talking mad shit.
Yeah.
They're across the country somewhere. You know what I mean? Or the agents now have a cloak in which they could start bullshit between us and step back, create misconfusion, disconfusion, and now with the bots going about, because now they got the automated bots that are just in there creating confusion. And so step away from the internet is what I tell people. Your life needs to have value. You can't spend 18 hours a day in the cyber world because you've given too much of yourself to some shit that don't exist. You know what I mean? And emotions is moving back and forth based on somebody who's just joking. Their whole purpose is to get on and jokes. So I had to step away from the internet and get back to tangible relationships. You know what I'm saying? Going to break bread with your people, this and that. Then you have your moments when you can log on and see what's going on. But some people have engrossed themselves so much, Tad, that it's like they have blurred the lines between what's real and what's not.
Years ago, I gave you a phone call because I saw something that I didn't like within the conscious community. You remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do.
Kanye made that statement. You were in agreement with Kanye to a degree. I was in agreement because I understood the context that it was used in.
Right.
Because slavery was not the topic. I always got to tell people slavery, he was talking about the mindset.
Yes.
Don't become a slave to your thinking. And then he changed it. He said, I'm not going to use the term slave because how black people associate slave, I'm going to say prisoner.
Yes.
Harvey Levin switched the conversation, did 3-card money right in front of everybody.
Yes, right in front of us.
Right. Hold up. Are you saying slavery is a choice? He was talking about our way of thinking is a choice.
Yes.
And we're talking about conscious community because where I was going to go, all this information and no call to action made it a stagnant movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw people who knew you personally.
Yes.
They knew your heart. They know your name. They know your family. They know all the work you've done in the community. And because bashing Kanye was trending, they attacked you. And I said, hold up, this is some bullshit now.
Yes.
Motherfuckers don't even know Harvey nor Kanye, but they're going to attack a brother they do know, Black Dot. I called you, I didn't know if he was going to pick up or not. Like, I don't want to hear this shit. And he was like, yo, what's up, brother? I just laughed like, yo, I'm with you, bro. And we built on that.
Yes. Because I understood, and even from the context, get the pretext of the whole comment. The comment is a soundbite.
Yes, they ran with the soundbite.
Was this? So the first thing I did, I wanted to know the context. Once I understood the context of what he was saying before he said that, I said, okay, I'm good. This is what he means, and he's correct. But people, like you said, they watch Harvey do that 3-card money and gave you the comment and then put a battery in people's back. And before you know it, they was coming at me. And I just was like, okay, all right. And so I learned.
And they know better.
And they knew better. They
know better. You a brother, like, they should have just asked you, Dot, why do you agree with that? Because I don't agree. Right. But give me your reason why you agree with Kanye. And we could have put it in context. I saw, and this was public, because me and your conversation was private. I didn't jump on the page and say, nah, fuck that. I agree with Dot because y'all bugging, da-da-da. And I said, yo, the devil doing what the devils do, cause confusion. Because the whole thing was, why did Kanye even meet with Trump? And Kanye's position was like, yo, anytime you disagree with somebody, you got to sit with your opponent to see where they heads at. So we could come to an understanding, which I agree with, because part of that is growth. If you're around people who's in constant agreement with you, where's the challenge to your thinking and sharpen your tool and help you grow and get a broader analysis of where you currently stand? Because if you think like you thinking today, if you think like this in 5 years, there's no growth.
And I try to explain that even with Umar Johnson's situation. I said, listen, he needed to build a council around him that can check him on. But if it's all in your mind of what you're trying to do and no one can challenge it or question it, now you look crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here we are 16, 17 years later, whatever it is, and we still haven't, but when you have people around you who are going to challenge you, nah, God, no, that doesn't even sound correct, or back and forth, or this and that. You create a better situation where we can reach a resolve, and that's the people's problem today as well.
Yeah,
everybody be correct, and nobody
people don't know how to agree to disagree.
Right.
Yes.
It's like if it's not absolute, like people, like we can't always deal in absolutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can't always deal with absolutes. Now, because I don't agree with damn near nothing Kanye said. Like he already know my position on him.
Right.
But I also know, dude, he not crazy. You know what I'm saying? He say wild shit because he's about to sell something.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I've been established that. Like,
Yes.
Tad, you already know. I've been he trying to make money. He making money. Like the shit he did when he went to Trump, where he's like, yo, it's like a Superman. Yo, he said some wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He said some wild shit. But I already know it's like
sensationalism.
Yeah.
Because people don't like the truth.
He has mastered this realm of AI and all
Yeah.
of that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he know how to go viral and all of that.
Yes.
So, like I said, when me and him spoke about, like, when we spoke, what was this, last week or week before last, we spoke about Joe and
right.
And
last week.
Them, it's like they done mastered this art of marketing. They don't have to say, they don't have to be 100%. They don't have to be. Their story don't have to be 100% true. It don't have to be 50% true. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna sensationalize it, and everybody.
As long as you're talking about it, and as long as you're talking about it,
I'm able to capitalize.
Yeah, and which is Marcus. Yeah,
Charles White is real good at that. He'll say some crazy shit. You'll be like, "What the?" You already given the energy that's needed to get the clicks going, to get the views going. But like you said, when you watch, you go, "Come on, I know what that is." So I'm not gonna fall for that. Your head, run the play, as we say, run the play.
And that's exactly what a lot of these dudes are doing. They're running the play. Yep. And matter of fact, and speaking of Fat Joe, right? I want to ask you, what was your thoughts? Because you're from the Bronx, you're from the era, you're from the inception of hip hop in the Bronx. What was your thoughts when you seen him call himself Crack Him Great God Allah? What was your first thought?
I thought, he's losing it. It's disrespectful to the father and all of those who took those lessons seriously. You know what I'm saying? Because them lessons, let me tell you something, God. Them lessons brought me out of darkness at 12 years old, and I didn't even have the understanding. I just knew the first time I heard that the black man is God, I was like, what do you mean the black man is God? Everybody know, this. And
that Jesus is white, Jesus is God, and Jesus is white.
What you talking about? And the way the gods walked it down and gave me that understanding at an early age, I've never lost that as a foundation to understanding who we are as a collective. And so, and they gave you names that had purpose and pride to it. My first name was Divine Intelligent Great God Allah. That was my first name. You know what I mean? And I carried it with pride. I'm Divine Intelligent Great God Allah. And in fact, when he took, man, come on, Crack King, Great God Allah, dude, you wasn't nowhere near a crack king, you know what I'm saying, to begin with. Yeah, I know he did his thing and all of that kind of stuff, but that's a disrespect to the science. You know what I'm saying? Right. And this and that. So I said he's got to be trolling. You know what I mean? But where's the eldership now to go, okay, enough of this trolling shit. You know what I mean, God? Don't disrespect the lessons. Somebody needed to, check him. And for him to be that comfortable to create something like, Crack King God Allah, I just thought it was disrespectful.
That's how I took it. Gutter gave me another perspective last week too, though. Talking about because he equated himself with what's the boy named Chucky from Fresh. Yeah. The little irritated.
Remember the little fat Spanish dude that everybody, I'm quite sure is nobody that watched that movie like that was from the hood like that little nigga.
Right.
Everybody hated that nigga. Like in the movie, you hated that little nigga because he's always in the way. You know what I'm saying? But that's just him.
And he got deleted in the movie too.
That's just him. Yeah, he got murked in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Took his little ass out.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I said that, like, I could see Joe being a little badass nigga. He said he's in the projects that's 90% black. You know what I'm saying? So he's already acculturated into our way of moving. He might be Spanish, but you in the projects and you grow up 90% black. So every 9 people that you meet is black. This is who you grow up with. So he's cultured. He's part.
He is.
He's been bred within our culture.
And I give him that because
him being a little wild, just annoying little. I can see that.
And
it's always like it's crazy to say the wildest little niggas I ever been in. When I go to projects that's 90% black, like when you go to Sumner and Tompkins, it be the little Puerto Rican niggas.
Yeah.
LG.
Yeah. And I tell people, Tad, you know, when the conversation came about you know, Puerto Ricans and hip hop and all of that, the Bronx was a unique place for us because we grew up around them. It was a melting pot. New York itself was a melting pot, whereas in LA, it may have been a different culture.
Right, they separate.
We all were in a goddamn concrete city all together. And so some of my best
people say in LA at one time it was like that.
Right.
Like it was more of a melting pot and then it changed.
But for us,
you know what I'm saying? And
that's
then
all
for
I
us, but this is the thing is what people were trying to say was that you were there, you were a part of it, but it was black culture that you because like I remember early 80s to the mid 80s, certain Puerto Rican niggas was not fucking with hip hop.
Right.
And it was a big percentage. It wasn't it was more them not fucking with it than they did, because they had the freestyle shit and that.
Right. They had their own thing.
They had their own shit.
But salsa in the Bronx and hip hop both came up around the same time. The parents were very prejudiced, you know what I mean? But the kids were not. That's the shit. We all just came out and played. And like you said, for every 9 brothers, there was one Puerto Rican who just wanted to be down. I came into hip hop in '77. And when I got there, it was Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, blacks, but I do know it's black music. Of course, the origin.
Yeah.
I can't say in the 70s I didn't see those who wanted to participate, who participated. You know what I mean? And so I get that.
No, I'm not going to see. This is the thing. When somebody makes it an extreme, I ain't going to agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to agree with the extreme. But they were, it was, but I'm going to be honest, it was like, it was a smaller percentage
of course
that were in it as opposed to their community.
Yes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Their community was not big on hip hop. They was not with
that. Nah, they wasn't.
You fucking with Moreno. You doing the Moreno shit. That's what they said. No, you doing the Moreno shit.
Yeah. And
now Fat Joe finally says his father said that to him. That's Moreno music.
Yeah.
Because he slipped up and said that, but it's the truth. But I think we all, if you have any kind of common sense, you knew that. But if you qualify and disqualified yourself by you being able to MC or you can DJ, we allowed you to be amongst the original man. That's all it really was. You know what I mean? So it's those who are taking the stand and making it seem like we're not trying to say when it was breaking and before it was called hip hop, it was a melting pot of stuff.
Yeah.
With 75, 80% us and a few of other people.
Others. Yeah. Because even our parents really didn't care for it too much because we scratching their good records. What are you doing with my records? Don't drag that needle across. Because my mother had the turntables. Me and my it was me and my brother's turntables. Belong to my mom.
They hear beat, they remember, but it ain't their music.
Right.
Now turn that shit off.
Turn that shit off. Right? And so, it went through phases.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to the conscious community because, and then we're going to revisit this hip hop because just for the audience sakes, the reason why we talk about where it started, because Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes went on record for saying Black Americans have no culture. The very culture that they made their fortune and could feed their family off of, they say don't exist, which is crazy. But back to the conscious community.
They said they had to give us some style, which was
all that. All of that.
When Bud said he had to give us some style,
ain't nobody want to dress like a Jamaican.
Them fits you wear?
Kool Herc said himself. He had to get the sheepskin and the British walkers. I grew up, all my Jamaican friends had high waters on and you know, but they wanted to be Americanized. Now, for
Yes.
Busta Rhymes to say what he said, but yet he's a part of the nation of gods and earth and the fathers and original man. So when you say culture, I'm confused. You
It's
know what I mean?
biting. It's bite. Listen, the dudes like I said, it's this marketing shit, my nigga. Niggas know they saying some wild shit.
They have
Yeah.
to.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like
got to.
it's especially bust. Like you said, you the God.
You the God.
We used to call Big, used to call him the great embracer. Because Bug come in peace, God, and slap your back and all that shit super hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So come on, like you got knowledge yourself. Come on, my nigga.
Right.
It's like,
right. So
speaking of
that's just
good,
something to shoot out there to get response. That's why I said it's like this internet age is different because dudes is saying shit like they know, like in a normal setting, if they were around people, they wouldn't say the retarded shit that they saying.
Right. They wouldn't be at the law school talking that crazy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yo, but Black, I want to go back because we was talking about the conscious community and we was talking about the fall. Knowledge yourself. Once you got knowledge, it forces you to change your behavior. It forces you to deal with things accordingly from your new perspective. What did they say, Black? Once your mind is shaped from an original thought, it's hard to go back to what it once was. Dr. Umar Johnson, probably one of the most famous from the quote unquote conscious. Gotta laugh on that. Probably one of the most famous in the conscious community. When did you realize, or do you think he's off his rocker? And if you do, when did you realize that he was off his rocker?
Well, again, I start early on. He was a very powerful orator. You know what I'm saying? He command presence. Something about our community, when you speak well in front of people, especially the ladies, Black man, this and that, people vicariously, and even when you say anything about the system and you going against it, this and that, our people will vicariously want to experience that. So he wanted to start a school. I was all in. I said, you know what? That sounds great. My son at the time was 9. He's 25 now. But that's beside the point. I called him into the room. I said, look, little man, Dr. Umar is going to build a school, and I want to send you there to be, culturized and this and that.
I got a question, though. Well, one question. Ain't he from Philly? What part of Philly he from?
I don't know, but he's definitely from Philly.
Yeah, he's from Philly. I don't know if he's from North Philly.
He's either from West or North.
Right. But finish that.
If he then yeah, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna read one. Go ahead.
Okay. And so the more and more I began to hear him talk, and the more and more I just came to this assumption: this exists in his mind. You see what I'm saying? And that leads to mental illness when something, a utopia, only exists in your mind. That's where it's supposed to start at. You understand the way thought works and distills into action, into something physical. I get that. That's what makes us who we are. But when something is suspended in your mind that long and you keep building components to it, you know what I mean? It keeps becoming more and more, but it never manifests into anything. Something is wrong there. And this is what I mean by, if there's nobody here planted on earth to go, come here, man. What's the first steps to us doing this? Now, I do think he loved kids. Don't get me wrong. I think in his mind, he really want to help Black people, but he don't know how to go about it. All because all of this stuff exists inside of his mind without a gateway to legitimately, come down into the physical realm to exist where it can actually help people. And then I started saying, with all this technology, why don't you just build an online school where all the kids can go? Not just the kids in that little Baltimore area or whatever. I said, you working backwards. You can do an online curriculum where every parent can pay their $19.95 or whatever and you can actually teach more kids. When he didn't want to do that, I said, okay, this is a ruse here to continue his hustle going, and there will always be people who will refuse to believe that it's a hustle. And those are the people I got to miss. I'm like, because you want to know about the hustle, study to know God.
Because
and I'm like, you know,
that's why I wanted that. That's why I wanted to ask the question. Like, that's why I wanted to come back to, because like once you said, that's why I was getting to. Once you said it's a hustle, because you can start simple, my nigga.
Yes.
You know how easy it is, whether he was in Baltimore or in Philly, how easy it is to get one of them brownstones. All the money he raised, work that, and you start with that. Try to get another brand, buy 2 brownstones back to back, and you start with that, my nigga.
I had a class.
It's that simple
program in my living room, God, with computers, desks. They had about 12 kids, but that's all I can fit.
That's all you need to start with.
Right. And when you're not doing that, and it's the school's got a flood. I was getting ready to open. And then the inspectors came in. Man.
Simple, bro.
I'm like, so in his mind, this is all real. This is a dream in his mind that will never manifest into reality. And he keep showing up at places and selling people hopamine.
Because he don't know. Because, all right, if it's a dream in his mind, because he don't know where to start.
Hold on, am I losing y'all?
Huh?
I think my Wi-Fi is acting up or something. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, because y'all was sounding pixelated at one point, then it froze.
The reason homeboy is like he's not thinking. First of all, like our ancestors here did. Like we started with shacks.
Mm-hmm.
We started just gathering under a tree, then built a shack and started from there. So you like know where to start from. And like you said, you can do an online course where you selling the course, bro, and give good information. And this is how sisters can homeschool their kids.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To homeschool their kids, you taking them away from the system. You know what I'm saying? And they able to be more hands-on with their children. You know what I'm saying? Unless they working. You know what I'm saying?
Right, 4 times a year, you hold a retreat and bring everybody together. Bang, 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 bang. And the money you raising to build the school, we could have had that school built while you were teaching our babies across the country. And I'm a person of action, Tad. So if you tell me you're going to do something, you need to see the course of action from the beginning, and then let's have a progress report. I told you my son was 9 years old.
I just thought about that.
He's 25 now. He's 25. You know what I mean? And school ain't no closer to being built. So what am I supposed to tell anybody about this process? Right? So I'm action speaks louder than words, bro.
I've been home 8 years.
And no school.
This 9/11. I've been home 8 years, guys.
No school.
And
when he built the school, this is another thing.
Because I know you getting paid for going on Joe Budden and all these and all that. That should be donations, number one. Like, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be compensated for what he brings to a podcast or whatever. And I'm saying, but you got a bigger goal. You know what I'm saying? You supposedly have a bigger goal. You know what I'm saying? That's where the hustle comes in. Because if you got a bigger goal, you know, you start from what you can start from.
Yes. And here's another thing. Here's another part. The school is not going to be free. If he's boarding them kids there, you know how expensive that is for parents who have to, because he ain't taking the kids for free. You're going to have a tuition. He got to pay these teachers. He got to pay the cooks, the chefs, the gym, this, that. And in that poor neighborhood, because my son don't live too far away from there. That's one of the poorest neighborhoods in Delaware. You know what I mean? So
Right.
how, right?
Oh, he
How?
in Delaware. It's gonna be in Delaware or
It's a,
Baltimore.
Baltimore,
no, he got it. He got the building already. It's the
right?
bando. He had it for years. It's the bando. All
Yeah,
he do is paint and throw block parties. And
right.
it's a similar. And you know what? You know what hurt me too, Black?
Hold on,
Because
he has the building.
no, he
Yeah,
got him now. He still
No,
got
that's
him.
what I'm saying. He has the buildings, and
Yes.
nobody like. So what's
no,
the purpose of you buying the building?
because he
Just
got
to
to
say he's
keep this roost going. I got to
yes.
keep getting money from the people, so I have to show them a progress report.
That's why I was saying is what I said previously. You start small before you get to that.
Absolutely.
But he didn't want anybody's help, Gutter.
How you gonna get a following if you don't show no results?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how's you really gonna get everybody just running your shit? You know what I'm saying? And you don't have no results in the beginning.
Right.
And meanwhile, right, Gutter, we got schools.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm saying what he did in public education. Now we talking about this is private. So now
Right.
you got to show results in the private.
Absolutely.
What parent is just gonna like give you their money to go to a school when you haven't shown no results on no scale besides public school?
Right.
Like,
And look, Gutter, not even public school, because he keeps saying he worked in a public school, but all of these years of Umar in the conscious community, in the lecture circuit, I've once yet seen him to work anywhere. I've seen him take pictures years ago at a school upstate, just at the desk saying he's the new principal. That was it. Never again. See, he's not really about the work. That's why his credentials was always in question, because you don't work. You don't have no job. You a Pan-African panhandler. That's
Yes.
what you are. We got in this conscious community, we got Baba, look, Gutter, we got Baba Walima Baruti, who has a program. We got Marcus Klein. He's a Pan-African panhandler.
Selling hopamine.
Yeah. Exactly. No different than the Christian preacher, the pork chop preacher, because all Christian preachers ain't bad. Say it again. Yeah, that's right. Our brother Q Butter. Shout out to the Zayax Institute. Right. We interviewed Q Butter. And I remember when Q Butter, me and Q Butter was talking, he's like, yo, Tad, remember this was just an idea. And he's done it. And he, just like you said, right? For those who couldn't come physically, he did his school online as well.
Right.
You can come to the class online. If you ain't in Brooklyn, if you're not here physically, you can participate online. We got all of these people doing dope things in the community that Umar could have tapped into, but he chose not to. All the elders that he had access to. And this is my thing, and I'm going to step off my soapbox. I always blame the people. We put these people in leadership positions, whether it's Umar or Sucker Polite. Because even when I was in straight black pride, right, Doc? I told my brother Irritated Genie, fuck Brother Polite, Sucker Polite. He was like, why? I said, he don't rock with us. I said, I'm telling you, his energy is off. It's bad. And then where's he at right now? And why is he incarcerated?
Mm-hmm.
Said abuse on a child, abuse on a minor. And this is the thing. A lot of dudes, you want to be in leadership, you have to develop your character. We're not saying be perfect, but at least be a man of your word and surround yourself with people going to keep you accountable, have integrity.
Yeah. That's it.
That's why you'd be hard pressed to see me do anything without my sister Keisha, because she's gonna put foot to tail if things ain't going right.
Absolutely. If you know anything about me, I just want you to know I have integrity. So if I tell you I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And when you peel back the layers, ain't nothing there you're gonna find. I've been in the community the longest time ever. That integrity is important, and coming up under leadership, as you mentioned.
Yes, quality leadership.
Quality leadership, being able to step in front of the people and say, don't literally follow me, but I'm going to be one of the people that's going to lay out a blueprint as a part of a collective that's going to help us. Let's go.
Right. My leadership resume. And I came into the conscious movement. Sister Andy Musty. Yeah. I came into the movement in '97 with Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I came into the movement. I was green. I ain't know nothing. I ain't know nobody. I only knew the books I read, because coming in with Dr. Khalid, it challenged me to take this knowledge into action. Just
Yes.
difference between lip service and activism. It's a big
Absolutely.
difference. You can know
Yes.
all this stuff, but if you're not applying it to your life and moving the community forward, you don't know jack, right?
Yep.
But then I joined the African movement. The African Village of New York, founded by Dr. Ray Higgins, but in New York it was led by our brother Vernon Wells, who was also one of the founders of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement. Exemplary leadership. And then with Straight Black Pride, with our brother Irritated Genie, exemplary leadership skills. And I will always say, these people are men. They're human. Are they going to be perfect? Ain't no man perfect on this planet. But when it comes to organizing and putting people in the right place and getting things done and moving in the right direction, I will always give props to these three men, Dr. Khalid, Irritated Genie, and our brother Minister Vernon Wells. Because they were men of integrity and action. And anything we talked about doing, they made sure we got it done. What you said, Brother Black?
I said that's all we can ask for. And that goes back to what I was saying about fatherhood. It don't have to be perfect. We have to be present and we have to be held accountable. Black Dot, you said you was gonna do that. And that's all about being held accountable. But integrity is everything for me. If I smell anything fishy, and I can smell bullshit before it hits the ground and the steam come off it, I sidestep. I be like, nah, I'm good. How come Don ain't sure? Nah, I don't want to be a part because I can see where this thing is heading. And
so let me ask you.
I wanna say something too. I think our community is two things. Our community for the like, they don't want leadership. They want like a messiah.
Yes.
Stop looking for that. And then the dudes that all these charlatans is they got a God complex. So they the Messiah. They think they plan is the Messiah plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a plan that adds to, you know what I'm saying, the larger scheme of things. But if you think your plan is the only plan, come on, my man.
Right.
Yeah. Brother Black, I was gonna ask you, when did you realize Sucker Polite was not the real deal?
Well, when they said he wrote 77 books.
My man.
I'm like,
how many of those have you read or seen?
Hold on. He said he wrote 77 books.
77 books, and my thing is this. I know how hard it is to write a book. I'm like, you got 77 of them shits. So
how old was he?
I don't know. I just say,
he was a prodigy.
He's younger than us, Gutter. He's younger than all three of us.
He's a prodigy.
Now, without people get confused, because knowledge can be misleading because it can be used for good or evil, so to speak.
Manipulate.
He can speak the lessons, and he knew his stuff. How he chooses to use that will determine where we going with this. And so I began to, see, the three wives, and I have nothing against that lifestyle, the 77 books, and people starting to hold him up on a plateau. I knew that wasn't for me. And so I stepped to the side. I've never been in this mix. I think I met him once or twice, just in passing and all of that. But that was beyond me. And then he became the poster boy for the debates. And when that turned into a spectacle, I just knew, and I didn't know nothing about his personal life. I was hearing some things, but I didn't know. And, and when you tell you're the Messiah or something, but you can't get your way out of prison, I'm like, okay.
Right. I'm going to tell you when he was fake. When he was talking about
Messiah complexes, they think, first of all, you God, I'm God. He's God. So, like, what makes it, you know what I'm saying? What makes you see what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell you when I knew he was fake, Gutter, when he was talking about selling sovereignty, and his pitch was the police only harass you because you don't know your status. If you knew your status, they wouldn't be deleting you in these streets. But buy my program for $2.99 and I could help you correct your. I said, yo, police don't give a fuck whether you sovereign or not.
I've never been stopped by the police and they say, "Yo, you starving? All right, we'll keep it moving."
Right. And Guinea, I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit because I would never put our brother King Simon in that mix. Me personally, that's just me. I've worked with King Simon.
I only blame King, and we held King Simon's feet to the fire with introducing a polite to our community, but he is not responsible for what that man decided to do when he got the layup off the backboard. Sometimes you introduce people because you love their knowledge, and I've been around King Simon long enough, and I know King Simon's heart. King Simon ain't never pushed me out of a dime.
I couldn't put that on King Simon.
I'm not going to put that on King Simon.
Yeah, I'd be disingenuous if I did that, or even let that rock.
We did hold his feet to the fire and say, "Look, this is your man's, right?" So, and King Simon owned up to it. He owned up to because he can't be responsible. If I go between my legs and throw it off the backboard, you got to slam dunk that. That means I'm opening you up to my community. You got to hold that because I do have to take responsibility.
He was selling fake leases too.
Oh yeah.
Now I know 2 dudes that was on his line.
Yeah.
They came to their crib.
They went to polite crib.
No,
they went to his crib. The crib was gone. Like he was gone. That's when he went to Miami. When he went to Florida. Well, I don't know if it was Miami. He went to Florida.
Yeah, because
I first came home. You got to remember, I came home in 2017.
Right, and he was popping then. He was popping. And see, this is the thing that us as the community got to hold these people feet to the fire and make them accountable. That's why I call him Sucker Polite. And I don't make idle threats. I just always just say where I'm standing at. Yes. And where I stand, dudes know what time it is for me. We can.
Like once
we never had to go there.
I never met him, but once I hear certain shit that he said is like automatically is a no-go.
Right. And you know why I heard gutter?
Like when you hear when dudes lying for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know why I hurt gutter? Because it's brothers like me and Black Dot who organize in the community, and these people associate themselves with our work, if not with us. So we don't want to be viewed as a Sucker Polite or Dr. Umar. So when we really raising funds to take care of people in our community, we don't want to be like, oh, I got burned by Polite, so I ain't giving up nothing, or Dr. Umar can, because we really help the people. People I'm telling people, please buy Brother Black Dot's Gotta Laugh to Keep from Crying. Please, because you said something in there talking about lecturing, and you got financial challenges at home, and you still trying to present and serve the community. And the other night, I always tell people I was doing presentations with shut-off notices for my electricity back at home. I never quit my job, wasn't in a condition, because I know you went back and forth with your job at one point, trying to help the community and move your family forward. Many of us do this out of our hearts and our pockets. Sister K Fighter went on a rampage Thursday, talking about none of these people gave her a goddamn dime for all the work she put in, which is true. You don't make money doing this work, and people on the sidelines.
But exactly, that's not the thing. Is like the whole thing is what us in the conscious community, we got to come up with, of course, a legal hustle, not scamming motherfuckers and shit.
Right.
Like that. You know what I'm saying? We do shit like this. We get monetized and we do content. You get monetized, and you figure out other type of hustles, which will help. You know what I'm saying? Build the larger struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want mud on your name. I gotta talk about people every day, and so if I sell you something,
especially about like if we talking about like people saying, oh nah, like, oh he's a crook, like he's shiesty,
right?
Don't like
can't do it, won't do it.
You know what I'm saying? Because like even when I was in the streets, I was honest with what I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. People know, all right, be around him, you shining, he don't know you.
Better tuck your chain in.
Better tuck
You know
that
what I'm
chain.
saying? Like, yeah. So, like, I was honest with what I do. You know what I mean? So it was never no thing about me faking for
Right, who you
somebody
are.
in
And
order to,
everybody know gutter. What you see is what you get.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like, but I'm never, it's never been nothing on my name. He's a snake.
Right.
Right. That's something totally different.
You know what I'm
Is
saying?
he thorough? Is he thorough? Yes. Will he
You know
get
what I'm
you?
saying?
Yes.
Never know like, yo, this nigga crossed me doing
Don't
this.
trust him. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah.
Be like, yo, he don't fuck with you. Why he don't speak? Because he don't fuck with you. He don't know you like that.
I don't know you like that.
That's one thing Gutter always say. He don't like nobody. Gutter don't like people.
Yeah.
And he gonna crack on you.
Yeah, I'm with my homies, and like we gonna have our initial boo 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 boo, and then I'm gonna slide to the side, be in my own other world.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
You see what I'm saying? Because I love my people. You know what I'm saying? But it's a limit that I can be around
Because you know your people.
because I know me.
Right.
Not know me. I like once I get the old man. I've been having the old man vibe since I was young. Like once I start getting irritated with niggas, man, the fuck wrong with you? And start like getting on motherfuckers, getting on their nerves. Man, why this nigga? Why man, start preaching and all type of other shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't drink, niggas be drinking. I'ma fuck up they drinking. Stay drunk. Because I done got irritated. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing my old man shit since young. So yeah, I'm an old nigga is immediately.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Doc, I want to ask you.
But that come from my experiences coming back to New York. You know what I'm saying? Where if you know what I'm saying, it was rough.
Yeah. I want to ask Doc a question though, because I mean, shit, this conversation is dope and time is flying. Doc, your transition from the conscious community, because you've always been about business and business sense. And shout out to your wife, shout out to your son's mothers who've been very supportive in all your efforts. I read that, I saw that, I felt that, and I received that. Because people just think dudes be flowing like this. It be peaks and valleys in this journey. Right?
This hero's journey, yes.
Urban X podcast, you and your son. You took your genius, brought your son Malcolm along, and y'all exploded. Whose idea was that and what that was like? Because I don't think I got that far in the book yet.
It really kind of organically happened. You know, my son had just graduated from college, and you know, I wasn't big on the internet. I popped in every 6 months to do an interview and get out because I'm Virgo and I like my own company. I'm like, see, God, I enjoy my own company. And what happened was, you know, he grew up in the era. He started work and he was like, yo, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I said, well, let's build something. So we started with just a podcast for my other son who's disabled. And that's where Doggy Diamond came in. Shout out Doggy Diamond.
Shout out Doggy.
And so I called him and said, listen, I'm trying to get into this podcast game. He didn't gatekeep. He gave me everything I needed to know. And so Malcolm was watching me and my disabled son, because the thing about my disabled son, intellectually, he's brilliant. He has some
Elijah.
Right? And I come home and he'd be arguing with Stephen A. Smith on the TV because he had his stats. He's like, that shit is wrong. And so I said, well, you know what? Let's start a podcast. And it helped highlight his intellectual, prowess. Malcolm saw that and was like, okay, Dad, I think we should start one. At first, I told him no. And then we wound up doing it. And all I could do is leverage my community, meaning my community trusts me. It may not be the community you want, but let's start here. You know, they trust me. I'm going to sit you down next to me and we're going to build. And one thing led to another. And this thing turned into over 550 shows or whatever. And our chemistry just began to blend because he wasn't trying to be me. He was being him. You can't be me. You don't.
And you gave him space to do that.
And because you don't
to respectfully disagree because y'all didn't always see things eye to eye neither.
Right. And he didn't come from my series of experiences. I created a different life for you, so you can't get up here and talk what I talk. You know what I mean? And he gave you the scholarly perspective because he studied, and I gave you the conscious community, conspiracy theory, the the Archie Bunker, the Fred Sanford, the George Jefferson. I was able to sit here and do all of that, and it gave you a perfect blend of trying to beat the algorithm so that the algorithm didn't figure out what I was teaching. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as long as it came across, Uncle Dot is losing his mind, this and that, and he was there to go, nah, Dad, you can't say that. It gave us the perfect blend, and then we branded off into merchandise. By the way, I love that shirt you have on there, Tad.
Oh yeah, I got it from my brother Black Dot.
Yes, and so we just eventually got into the merchandise ups and downs, this and that, until we figured out a good space of what it's about, and I'm content. We've been off the grid for a little while because he just had his second baby. I'm a grandfather again. I love it.
Congratulations.
Oh, that grandfather shit hit different, bro. That shit
Yeah.
is different than your kids. That grandpa shit is like awesome.
Yeah, we 3 grandpas up here.
Yeah, I didn't know that, God. You don't know
Yeah.
if you experience it.
Yeah, because you can let them run around to an extent, and then but they look up to you so much.
Yes, and Malcolm drops my grandkids off with instructions. They can't have this. They can't have pizza. They can't. As soon as he closed that door, we having all the shit.
Having a pizza party.
Yeah. And I tell my grandson, your dad can't. I'm his father. He can't beat me.
Yeah.
And he's starting to figure out the hierarchy and shit. Like, you know what? I think I'll ask Granddad about this. You know what I mean? So it's
I'm gonna tell you a funny story, Doc. My granddaughter wanted to do something, and I said, "Well, what your mommy say?" She said, "Mommy said no." I said, "What is that's what?" She said, "But you're her daddy. You tell her." I said, "Baby, you know what? Daddy respects mommy's wishes." And that's my oldest granddaughter, my baby Zuri. But then the other day, my next to youngest granddaughter, Cayenne, came to see me, and she was in the hallway yelling, "Grandpa, where are you?" Because I don't think she remembered the apartment door. Yo, that was the cutest thing. She's like, "Grandpa, where are you?" I think as grandfathers, our second go at fatherhood, but we got a frame of reference now. We got experience.
Yes.
We got experience, so we know what to do. We don't have to be as strict when we was parents.
And I can give them back.
Yes, that's the best part.
You
got your own baby. You go.
Yeah.
Grandpa has had his dose. You know what I mean? And so that's the beautiful thing, to see yourself replicate yourself again through these beautiful babies. And
legacy building.
That's legacy building.
Yes.
And I'm going to spoil them until I couldn't spoil them no more. You know what I mean?
At the same time, you giving them so much information, they're gonna be so ahead of the curve.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what it was. This when I realized, like, that's what I got, like, because I had all my mom's aunts and shit. It's my great aunts. So my experience and all of them was in education.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So I was getting mad information from them. You know what I'm saying? So every time I was around, so you learn, like, them elders mean something.
And we don't have that no more.
Exactly.
And so I'm taking advantage as much as I can, you know?
Right. Because we're the new elders now.
We're the new elders now.
And Dot, you're back to legacy building, because what I do like is that your business is family operated. Like you said, Elijah be in front of the TV. Malcolm like, oh, my little brother on to something. Yeah, we can take this information. And I know your wife is very instrumental, do so much work behind the scenes.
Very. Everything we do.
Even when I met her, shout out to her. She's always there, always supporting you.
She edited. She does all of the tangible things. I get to think them. You know what I'm saying? As God, we out here thinking, and that wisdom can bring it into, fruition. So I give her the idea, she'll run with it. You know what I mean? Before I know it, she has a reference point for me to then work from. And it hasn't always been, like this, because
a cakewalk, right?
I had to understand, when we doing business, I'm not your dad, right? And so he had a problem checking me when I needed to be checked from a business standpoint. You know what I mean? And once I told him, no, when we in these lines, you are just equal as I am because we're putting the same effort. He had a long time saying, Dad, and then one day he just said, yo, Dad, get off your ass, bro. You told me this was done. It's not done. And I had to look at him, and he was absolutely correct. And so when you're dealing with business, understanding that the lines have to be blurred at certain points for it to be effective. Because if I'm always going to pull, I'm your dad and I'll do it when I want to do it, then that's not going to work in business. You know what I mean? Right. So we had our challenges, our, one time I almost threw the fucking table over in this piece because they didn't see something my way. And they stood firm on it. We don't see it your way, Dad. And I'm used to getting my way. And I had to humble myself, see, and go. And once I really calmed down and looked at it, they were correct. And I was. You know what I mean? And so when you're dealing with the family aspect, I tell people start a family business just to get with each other. Because the first thing we started doing was just having family meetings about nothing, but the family was together. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to create this family business or vision just so everybody can check in on each other. And then you'd be surprised how brilliant people are in the family. You know what I'm saying? But there's family trauma. You got to let go of that shit I said in 3rd grade, nigga. So-and-so got to put of that stupid shit you was holding on to at the Thanksgiving dinner and all this old bullshit. And we can make some money together. You know?
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
And this is something that you pass down to your children, you know? So what came first? Because I know you were doing the lectures and things. The podcast come, and then the merchandise. Whose idea was it to do the merchandise?
Well, originally, we just want to have a few T-shirts with Urban X on it, and we outsourced it. But the thing about outsourcing, I don't get to touch it and feel it and guarantee is what I'm selling.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So it was just shipping bullshit off to my customers. My wife don't play that. We want to make sure when we give you something, the shit went through approval, it's done, it's right. So we just started, with a heat press, you know what I'm saying? And then the embroidery machine, and then this and that. We kept adding, pieces on. My wife she lives for customer service. She lives to make sure your shit, because I'll just throw your shit in the bag, God. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
And roll a shirt. And she's like, no. We're gonna fold these shirts. We're gonna make sure when you get it and slide it out, you know what I mean? The shit looks presentable. That's all her doing. Because I swear I'll just ball your shit up and be like, yo.
And you know what? In terms of black business, because I don't look at you as a black business, you're just a business that's owned by a black family. The quality, because this is just one of my T-shirts. I got a few T-shirts and the super dope hoodie that Black gifted me with the same I am. And then I'm going to need you to go into the I am, but the quality, because sometimes people think because I'm black owned, I can ball it in the thing. Because I had to learn customer service when I was selling my T-shirts, for my business business.
Is the biggest part of it. People think once they sell you something, that transaction is over. It is not. First of all, I don't want to sell you something. I want you to be a continued customer. So I want to get it to you on time. I want to make sure it's quality. If there is a mistake, we own up to it. I'll send you out a new shirt of this, that. We do not hesitate because that's how you build trust. That's why people go to Amazon all the time. They trust Amazon. If something go wrong, there's going to be, you know what I mean? And so customer service is really, really big in making sure your customers are always content with what it is that they get from you. And if they come back and something was wrong, because I be moving so fast, I be done sent you the wrong size, the wrong color. And the cool thing about me, I hit the customer right up like, oh yeah, my bad, that was me. You know what I mean? The next one will be in the mail tomorrow and this and that. And so when you build that kind of relationship, people don't mind spending money with you. You know what I mean? Because they know they're going to get what they paid for. Yeah. In terms of the I am, let me get to that real quick.
Yes.
I just wanted to take something, ancient that we understand, a universal symbol of the first I, and add an affirmation without completing the affirmation. So I am intelligent, I am spiritual, I am God, I am motivated, I am whatever you are, because I am that I am. I am all of those things. And so we wanted to sell something that is evergreen, universal, you know what I mean? As long as you're not spooked out by the eye and like that.
Right, that's the witchcraft.
Yeah, once you get past that bullshit and understand the combination of them two together creates an affirmation that when you put it on, it's like, yo, what's I am? And then you get a chance to start a conversation piece on it.
I am that. I am him.
I am him. Exactly.
I'm that guy.
I'm that guy. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I would have said the N word, but you know, you got
all that. I'm that too.
Yeah. Nah, in the hood, yeah, you already know that.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah. So Black, your book. Gotta laugh to keep from crying and think I was living till I thought I was dying. How important to your audience? How important is taking your health seriously now?
Now listen, this book sets off to show you when we say disease starts in the mind because of usually traumatic events that trigger something that eventually, if not dealt with, will come down and physically begin to harm you. That's what the elders taught us. All disease. Cancer is something that is eating at you, right? And it's eating at you internally to the point where now it manifests in your physical reality. You know what I'm saying? All of these things, diabetes is a sweet thing, which means maybe you wasn't getting love at home. You know what I mean? And so the sweetness of eating chocolate or this and that makes it kind of fills a temporary void. I had and have kidney failure. Now, the book opens up with me 5 years old, bringing my mother out of a drug overdose and her almost dying before my uncle shows up. What that did was it created fear of abandonment for me. You know what I mean? It was the first traumatic event that stayed with me. My mother was an intravenous drug user. So needles became her thing. Needles became the one thing I despised most in life. Now, here's the thing about the law of attraction that these gurus won't tell you about. The shit does not discriminate. So while you think it only brings positive, it also brings negative or whatever has the stronger pull to it. I hated needles so much. Little did I know subconsciously, I was manifesting them that I would have to need them later on in my life. This shit is deep. I want the people to pay attention. So my greatest fear and hatred was of needles because I watched this brilliant woman, had the highest IQ in my family, get caught in that sweep in 1970 when that heroin came through and it destroyed her life. I loved her so much that I would come home with my paycheck and give it to her so that she could get the hurt off of her. So even though I hated seeing her do it, I knew that she had to have it. And that became a weird dynamic through my whole life. And then remember, your kidneys is what filters out garbage. You know what I mean? And this and that. My living conditions were not the best. And so we were physically sometimes living in garbage. We weren't taking out the garbage. And you know, I grew up on quarter waters, Johnny Pump water, all the shit. And eventually, not dealing with things, it became worse and worse and worse. When I was 20, I went to get a life insurance policy. Show you how advanced I was. Young 20-year-olds are not doing that. I was like, let me get a life insurance policy because I had a little man. You know, I told you I was taken care of.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure if something happened to me, he had a few dollars to fall back on. They wouldn't give it to me because I had protein in my urine. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. You know what I mean? So, long story short, I started driving the bus for the next 16, 17 years, bouncing up and down on my kidneys, not eating good food. You eating shit in the street, holding your urine. But as a black man, I got to keep this job. You know how we get. You know, we the last ones to go to the doctor. And it got to the point where it got so bad that I needed a machine to keep me alive. And they said, bro, check this out. You got about 2 years if you don't get a transplant. Your ass is done. I'm 20 years in based on my ability to want to live and the teachings that came about as well, and looking out at the future. Listen to what I'm saying. If you focus on the past, I would have been dead already. You know, I'm thinking about the hardships and all the shit I had came through and what I'd have been dead. My focus was on the future. I was looking at my babies, and damn, I would like to be there for that graduation. Damn, I would like to be there. So because I kept focusing on the future, my body just kind of, I was going through routine. You know what I'm saying? We're here for a purpose. And when my purpose is all said and done, the ancestors will say, bravo, this is only a shell anyway. You beat the hell out of it, move on. So in 20 years, not one day in the hospital. I'm going to say that again. In 20 years. Now, what I learned, we'll delve the conversation. The people in there were not dying from kidney failure, God. They was dying from being on 6 and 7 medications at one time. And I noticed that because they give you a medication for this, a medication for that, the blood pressure up, this will bring the blood pressure down, this and that. So I stayed away from all of that because I had Dr. Africa in my life. I had Delbert Blair in my life. I had Dr. Phil Valentine in my life. And even though they couldn't stop it from happening because it was deeply entrenched, I used a little bit of everything I knew to keep me here. And most people wouldn't know if I didn't tell them. You know what I mean? And so for 20 years, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 20 years straight, I've never missed a day. I get 2 huge needles that takes my blood out of my body, puts it back in my body. I have ups, downs, you know what I mean? Through rain, sleet, snow, COVID, all of that. And the way I addressed it in the book, I could have drawn it out and been looking for sympathy and, gave you one chapter. And I said, this is what I go through. Now, for the next 20 years, let that play in the background. And I never mentioned it again because I don't need to keep harping on it and this and that. This is what's going on in the background. Today is Sunday. After this interview and all that, I'll get something light to eat. I'll lay down at 5 in the morning. I'll go and get my blood cleansed, which only cleansed the kidneys 10% of which your kidneys will normally function. So yes, I'm always tired. I'm always fatigued. I'm always worn down all the time. And I fight through it. So when you see me on camera or you see me at a lecture or you see me traveling the country to teach, that's what I have to go through. And it was all because I wanted to say yes to these babies.
Yes. And what I did love is the support system, because I know one of your homies, your brother Dave, and even your son Malcolm, volunteered to do a transplant with you. And
no, the list, that was the first 2 I mentioned. The list was damn around the corner of people who love me, who say, yo, I'll give a kidney to. But here's the thing. That's not going to solve the problem. That's putting a Band-Aid on, because it's not my organ. Every organ has your resonant frequency on it. The reason you got to be on 35 pills a day once you get the organ is to trick your body to make you think that's your organ.
Because your body starts rejecting it.
The body is immediately going to attack some shit that's foreign. The body goes, yo, who this? Who know this nigga?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Who man is this?
Who man is this? And so the body, so they give you
everybody say
immune. Yeah, they
on.
You know what I mean? And so I chose not to go that route simply because, and there's something called cellular memory. And so you a heart transplant, okay, you start having weird dreams that don't belong to you because you didn't have those experiences.
And they feel real.
And they feel real. And because my elders taught me all of that, I never even entertained the thought. I was thankful and humbled by those who are willing to do it. Thank you. But I put myself in this position and I got to work myself out or not. You know what I mean? But there's a protection over me that allows me to continue to do what I do because the ancestors have given me specific instructions on what my mission is. And then guess what? We're all going to make the transition. I don't care if you a Sabi or this and that. Everyone is going to make the transition because this is all temporary. When my
Nobody
time,
get out of this alive. Nobody
nobody
get out of this life alive.
live. We all going out. And
No,
so when my
exactly.
time comes,
We
my time
don't
comes.
never expire. We just gonna,
Move on to
Transition.
what's next.
we gonna
Life after life.
yeah,
Right.
As Professor
So we
Browder
never
says, there's
expire.
life after
But
life.
this
never
physical
expire.
frame, the physical frame that I'm using now,
Yeah,
have run its course. That's all.
Yeah. So with that, knowing that, Black, what keeps you motivated to keep doing the things you do? Because, like you said, you were tired, and before you knew what it was, before you were diagnosed, you were tired at work, you was tired at home with having a new baby, and all of this stuff. What keeps you going till this day? Because the children are grown now; they ain't even babies no
What I
more.
do is I set small goals. So when it first happened to me, I was always the person who said no to everything. I ain't showing up to that, this and that. I started saying yes. So I immediately changed the vibration. Yes, I'll go to that recital. Yes, I'll go to that ball game. Yes, I'll go. Yes, I'll apologize to somebody who I have beef with. Yes, I'll go sit down with my aunt who wants to preach to me about religion. I started saying yes, and it started opening up doors. Then I started setting goals. I want to see my daughter graduate high school. Boom, got that. Man, I want to see my son graduate college. Bam, got that. Man, I want to see my other son graduate college. Now that they're all grown, now it's the grandkids. Man, I'd like to see my little grandson go to first grade. I'll be glad when So I started setting these little small goals that keep the carrot in front of me. Like I said, you got to keep looking this way.
Yes.
Even though the past, present, and future, we know how it all
exists simultaneously.
You have to keep this way. The future creates the present. The past will screw you because there's too much baggage going on with that. So I keep looking forward. The latest venture was I didn't want to leave the planet without writing this book. I wrote Hip Hop Decoded on what I thought was going to be my deathbed. That came out in 2005. That's when I diagnosed. And so I got to put my head down and said, here. And so all the imperfections in it are what it is because I thought that would be my last offering. Then 10 years later, I wrote Urban Culture Decoded, right? And damn, I'm still here. Now, 10 years later from that, almost to the day, I said, I gotta leave my story, my legacy, and my 2 grandchildren made the book. My youngest grandson is only 6 months old. I was able to put him in the book. And so I'm like, that's beautiful. Now I'm just setting these little small goals that have to deal with legacy. Now it's legacy time.
Let me ask you, because I'm glad you brought up goals, because I'm past few years I've learned to live intentionally.
Yes.
Goals. We know that living life without goals is like a ship in the ocean without a rudder, just floating along. How important are goals for everybody? Not just me, not for Gutter, not just you. How important are goals and why people should always set them?
Goals are everything. It's the difference between, first of all, whatever you do is going to be hard, right? So you might as well be present and focused in it because this thing is going to continue to roll and you don't want no regrets. So setting goals gives you an opportunity to wake up every day and not have empty space because idle time is a vice, Lord. Even being an entrepreneur, my wife came out of corporate America and, she was goal-oriented. She came home and had a lot of empty time to just do whatever she wanted. And after she slept a couple of days, she realized she needed to be goal-oriented, even as an entrepreneur. I need to wake up and know what I'm doing every single day to give me an opportunity to keep the blinders on because you can get distracted going left and right. And I notice as long as I have goals, I always accomplish them. Some take longer than others. And then I sit back and some of the guys who I grew up with, they go, wait a minute, God, you got 3 recorded albums out. You got 3 books. You got over 75 DVDs, 150 speaking engagements, a podcast with over 500 episodes. When did you have time? And I'm like, I had the same 24 hours you had. You just didn't have any goals. So you just woke up and smoked a little weed and chilled, and I remained goal oriented. Now, with my health situation, I set more realistic goals. Because before, if I set a goal, it just was, I was relentless at it. Now I balance it out with, my daughter might want to talk to me about something, this and that. I'll take a deep breath. And so I still have goals. They're just not as zeroed in as a young man's goals should be. Because young men with no goals, you're going to chase that ass around and you're going to lose. Then you're going to find yourself being an old man and going, damn, all I needed to do was this. So goals are critical for organization, they're critical for alignment, and they're critical for direction. So I'm all with goals.
Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, it said, before you can get rich, the most important decision you're going to make, before the money or anything, is who you choose to spend the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How important, because I see she meant everything to you, the ups, the downs, the peaks and valleys, even to y'all coming to that rough patch. Because in this day and age, sisters, if sisters look at you, if you ain't got no money or you hit a bump in the road, they ready to abandon you.
They ready to bounce. Yeah.
How important was that your wife stuck through your most trying times? Even to the conversations that the families was involved with.
Yes, it's everything, because it says I don't have to be perfect all the time. If my track record say I'm somebody who's going to be there for you, do for you, provide for you, teach you, educate, protect you, then these ebb and flow, especially for a black man here in America, there's going to be times when I don't have it. But if I make great deposits into that account, where my track record speaks for itself, I'm allowed grace when things are not going. So that's what I always tell brothers. When you're dealing with a woman, you're building an account of trust, of a bunch of things with her. And when you break it, right? If you break the code or something went wrong, if there's nothing in there for her to draw back on and say, this wasn't his real character, I know his character, blah, 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 then you out. But if you've built a bank account of taking care, showing up on time, being there for the kids, this, that, and that, and something go wrong, at least I have an account to fall back on so that my check won't bounce. You know what I mean? But if you haven't built an account and it's nothing...
Only withdrawing from her, and you haven't deposited.
And you haven't made deposits, God, at some point she going, enough is enough of this shit, and I'm over. So my wife was with me, as I was transitioning out of a relationship. She still sort of hurt I had with Malcolm's mom and all of that. Right. She said, I'm going to allow you grace. She allowed me grace. And I told her, if you do, it's going to be rewarding for you. And then we had our own sets of challenges and this and that. And I saw that she was a fighter like me. I'm like, okay. So now we in this. And this whole process with kidney failure, there are days when I just don't want to get out of bed. I may be in the bed for 2 days. It's not a problem for her because I've built up an account of things that she know I'm good for. I just need some quiet time to reset this battery and this and that. And relationship ain't perfect. We go through some shit. You know what I mean?
But like all relationships.
Yeah. But it ain't nothing we can't resolve because we trust each other. Her account is overflowing. You know what I mean? And mine is too. And so if something falls awry, I'm going to rely on that,
So y'all got the resources to fight the problem and not each other.
We got the resources to fight the problem and not each other.
Yo, got anything you want to ask Black? Because this 2 hours done flew by. We got about 5 minutes left. Got anything?
Nah, shit. You basically ask everything relevant.
No doubt.
Appreciate it.
So Black, what's next for you, bro?
Well, my book actually comes out to the public on my birthday, which is August 27th.
Oh, so I got an advanced copy. Oh,
yeah, you got an advanced copy. Yeah, that's an advanced copy. Yeah.
Woo.
And so I wanted to stick with the formula of family and friends and people I respect. Any project I launch, I start with family and friends because that's supposed to be your real support base. You know what I mean? The people you respect. Now, the whole month of August, I'm going to be doing an ill blitz, asking people who have the book leave reviews because it'll be up on Amazon by that time, and just go forward and bring this into my birthday. And I want to, make this the biggest opening I can possibly. I still have a few advanced copies. If you go to shopurbanx.com, you can get an advanced copy, one signed by me. Or if you want a whole book, the casing and all of that, that's up there too. But that's you got to spend a little bread for that, because that was expensive. But I still have a few copies of the advanced, copies left. But after August 1, you're gonna be able to get it in a hardcover, a soft cover, an ebook, an audio book with my voice, and in Spanish. So I'm going all out. I'm going all out.
You speaking Spanish too? You gonna be speaking Spanish too?
I don't speak in Spanish, but
I speak it. I shit.
People who do.
Oh, nah, because that would have been dope. Like with your accent with the Spanish shit, you'd have been. You'd have been like this nigga that was up north with me named Feo.
AI might do that. You know what I mean?
Scratchy voice, yo, Bobby.
Yes.
You know what I think on the bone?
Some of my closest friends were Spanish, and if I call them right now, they're not coming to ask no questions. And I know where the body's buried all that. So I grew up around some Spanish people who love me. You know what I mean? Facts.
I want to share this video I created for Black. This was the presentation. Can you see it, Black? Is it up on the screen? All right.
Peace, my brother Tad. Black Dot here. Just want to let you know I recognize the outstanding brother that you are and have always been since I've known you. Integrity is what people do when no one is looking, and your integrity has never been in question with me. Your support for your community, your fight for your community, your love for your brothers and sisters is always recognized by me, your brother Black Dot. Considering where you came from, right? And how you turned your life around to make sure that you leave a positive vibration here for your family to follow. The way you love on your children and your overall community, I love it. And I'm recognizing it. So enclosed, brother, is a copy of my book, God Laughed to Keep From Crying. I didn't start living until I thought I was dying. We're around the same age, so I'm pretty sure you can relate to a lot of the trials and tribulations that I had to overcome. I hope it motivates and inspires you to continue to do the work that you do. My brother, I salute you. Peace.
Yo, Black, I love you and I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you,
This
man.
gift is, I'm beyond humbled and I'm grateful, bro. I love you. Stay up, stay blessed, stay true. Oh, man. Yo, that book. And I do love you from the heart, bro. I think sometimes we don't share that with our brothers enough.
Yes.
I don't know. This alphabet community made it strange, and the only time we want to express love is when there's a tragedy or Nah, we got to celebrate each other now while we're here, because tomorrow's not promised. Say it again. Yeah, what you said? Yeah, niggas will pause that.
Like, pause.
Man.
No pause. I love you, brother. You know what I mean?
Word. And you know what? And us as elders, we got to start showing each other love. And that's why I was so humbled by that. The presentation, I mean, is phenomenal. The quality, again, the quality of your business. When people get the book, because we encourage y'all, go buy the book. Please do. Support our brother. It's value. It's value centered. It's not rhetoric. It's not about who can hate somebody the most and who can make the most noise. It's something that you can walk away with and look at your life like, damn, these are some holes I got to plug in myself. These are some relationships I have to heal that I value. And this book is raw. It's honest. It reminds me of one of my favorite books. by Dr. Tyrone Powers. It's called Eyes to My Soul, The Rise or Decline of a Black FBI Agent. That's so raw and authentic because right now we don't deal with authenticity. We deal with surface level, who got the most likes, who's the most popular, and that's where we draw the value from. Everybody want a Remy Papoose relationship until they got to go through what Remy and Papoose go through. They don't want it no more. You know what I'm saying? But Black, man, yo, it's super dope to have you. We're going to have you back, especially once the book drop.
Yes.
Let's give people opportunity to buy it. But where can the people follow you at? How can they support your Cash App, your business? Give them all the information to stay tapped in with you.
Yes, on Instagram, the Black Dot with the number 1, all one word, at the Black Dot 1. On YouTube, of course, is Urban X TV, the number 1 father and son podcast in the universe, as we like to say. I'm on Facebook as Duane Bowser, my full government name. That's where I could be reached. That side note, remember, there's codes on the back of the book. It's a QR code.
Yes.
Scan the QR code, and it's going to give you a book trailer. So you want to know what the book is about, you scan that code. There's 9 QR codes inside the book. So if I'm talking about a family reunion or something, you can scan the QR code and see the actual receipts and this and that. But I wanted to make the book interactive and unique in that sense. And so everyone should start doing that with their new stuff. And that's where I could be found at. Cash App is the Black Dot, all one word. You know?
The Black Dot. No doubt. Gutter, anything you want to add before we bounce up out of here?
Nah, this is just a dope ass conversation.
Yeah. You know, we definitely got to give a shout out though to the usual suspects though. Got to give a shout out to Queen Anusa Akneti, our sister Kate Fighter, always on the check-in. You know. Yeah. She waiting for you. Dot. She waiting for you. And Gutter too. You know what I'm saying? Gotta have y'all two on the show. Yes. Our sister Farnessa always holding us down. Sister Tish. Brother Rich Nice. SMD 97. What up, Simbo?
Peace.
Yeah, who else we got on the check-in?
Have a subject where I can crack jokes on somebody.
Okay, Kate, I'll see you Thursday. Exactly. Just let me know. Yep.
Yeah. We got so many people in here. Just everybody on the check-in, everybody on the playback. Guinea Ophalucius. Shout out to you, always holding us down, having our back. Just everybody on the playback team. Like, subscribe, share. Black Dot, anybody you want to give a shout out to. We don't want to miss nobody. All the people that you appreciate.
Shout out to those who continue to show support. Shout out those who continue to show support. And I really am humbled by the support that I've been receiving. I'm good.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, shout out to our brother Oba. Shout out to brother A. Rashid. Shout out to Knowledge Born Allah. Absolutely. Shout out to our brother, Professor Carl Tone Jones. We want to thank y'all all for rocking out with us. Glad y'all came through. There's another brother.
All the liars and charlatans.
Yeah. Shout out to Sucker Polite. Umar new name is Dr. Sukiana since he was chasing her down, trying to get with that.
Wow.
Shout out to homie Superstar Rail in the comments and Sir God Blackman. Yes, I can't forget y'all, family. Sir God Blackman, thank you for coming back. Superstar Rail always holding us down on the check-in. Yo, y'all like, subscribe, share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We back again. We see y'all back here next Sunday. Y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. Peace.
Peace.